Hey everyone, welcome to a quick tutorial about another kind of tagging or blocking component which I found and have used in the directory world. Check out my previous two videos for information on the directory world. It's coming along nicely. That I found it's super useful. It's called a grabbable reparent block. I'm going to show you the scenario that which required me to use it. And then go over some other cases where you might see it. So here in the directory world, I can search. And if I search for Neos Essentials, we get a couple because I've made duplicates, and they'll line up in a nice orderly fashion in a grid here. If I go ahead and grab one to duplicate it, this is a grab instancer, by the way. It's just grab instancing a public folder. You can do that. And then let go. You'll see that it gets added to my grid aligner. That's problematic because the rotation is then based on, what you do to it. So I can spin that around and it'll go back into the grab instance really weirdly. And also I can't now grab these. I can click them, but I can't grab them. So these are all grab instances, and then these two on the end are not grab instances. And that's because they are the template of the grab instancer. So to prevent against this, we're going to use what's called a GrabbableReparentBlock block. So here is my object grid aligner within the world. The world's quite complicated, so we're here. Check out the video on object grid aligner. It's just the thing that's making a nice search result grid here, hence the results. And then under here, we've got a slot for each one. You'll see that the grab instances have got the name of the folder, and then the actual folder links have got the word inventory link to. That's just how the inventory links exist. So what we want to do is make sure that when we grab instance one, we don't get a third item there. Otherwise, when you let go of this stuff, it re-adds it to the search grid. I was racking my brain about this, trying to figure out a solution. Turns out there's a component for it. If you go to transform, interaction, and then it's GrabbableReparentBlock right there, GrabbableReparentBlock. And then the default settings are good. It just says don't reparent there. And so now if I delete these three inventory links, which are invalid, and then I go back to here and I grab this and I let go, you'll see it hangs there. It's not reparented. If I inspect this with the dev tooltip, you'll see it's actually now in the root. And that's because the grabbable reparent block just says like, nope, you can't be in here, go all the way back to the root. So scenarios where you might want to use this are things like this, where you've basically got a cache or a grabbable instance, an ammo cache or a weapon cache or a grabbable instance set where you don't want anything to end up being reparented to the collection. This should work with axis aligner, circle aligner, sphere aligner. It's actually being used exactly the same way here. So here's a pictures folder. And again, you'll see that doesn't get added back to the sphere aligner. If I go into the sphere aligner of the world here, you'll see grabbable reparent block again is being used. Super useful component. I was looking for a solution, couldn't figure out how this worked. I was actually adding it to the item using a component clone tip, but nope, you need to add it to the area that you don't want it to be parented under, and then that works out nicely. So that's a quick tip for you. Some of these components are super obscure. You're like, I don't know when I would ever use that. Turns out I just found a use for it. And it's also quite, now I know it's there, like I'm seeing and finding uses for it kind of everywhere. Hope this could be of help at some point for you guys. I will kind of link it around and mention it because every time I find a cool component like this that fits in with my kind of methodology, and my methodology being kind of like use aligner components, use grab instances, and you'll win. I need to add details to that. I'll see you next time.